You ever wake up on a Saturday thinking it's going to be peaceful, only to hear a grown woman in a flamingo print sun hat scream, "Your pond attacked me," at the top of her lungs like she just got mugged by a school of trout? Yeah, that's how you know you're in for a weird weekend. And trust me when you see your neighbor trespassing for the third time, fishing pole in one hand and a busted piece of your fence in the other, like it betrayed her. Well, you start to realize normal isn't on the menu anymore. That was Karen, self-appointed eco-sheriff of the HOA, queen of the backyard busybodies, and apparently my new arch-nemesis. Our families have lived on this land for 3 generations, 10 acres of old trees, and a spring-fed pond tucked away so private you wouldn't know it was back there unless you owned a drone or, you were Karen. She lives kitty corner to me, her property ending where my fence begins used to be a tall, clear line in the sand, HOA's world on one side, mine on the other, or so I thought. At first, Karen was all innocent curiosity, asking what kind of fish I had, admiring the lilies, telling me how healing water was for the soul. But pretty soon, those compliments turned into not-so-subtle hints. Maybe the neighborhood could share. The pond, wouldn't that be something? At first I laughed, thinking she was joking. Spoiler, she was not. One day she brings it up at an HOA meeting right out in the open, suggesting the pond become a community feature. That's when I knew I was in for a ride. Suddenly I had accidental birdhouses on my side of the fence, random teenagers hunting frogs by flashlight, and my no trespassing signs vanishing only to return weeks later with cartoon mustaches. I put up cameras. That's when I caught her, Karen, sneaking through a warped plank tackle box and wine tumbler in hand, waving at my trail cam like she was the Queen of England at Ascot. The first time I let it slide. The second I told her very politely to stay off my land. She acted shocked, like I'd accused her of witchcraft, claimed the fence was ambiguous, that she was just exploring, then whipped out her phone and called the HOA president, reporting me for threatening a female homeowner. That's when I started documenting everything. The next week, someone sawed clean through a section of fence. My camera caught Karen again, dragging her chair and fishing rod right through the hole, pausing just long enough to give a smug little wave to the camera. When I showed her the footage and asked her to stay off my property, she doubled down. Claimed she had a right to access the natural features of the neighborhood, said I was hogging the ecosystem. Then, with the audacity only a true HOA warrior can muster, she files a complaint. I was creating a safety hazard by leaving broken boards where her grandkids might drown. Never mind her grandkids didn't live there, or that she was the one breaking in. Of course, the HOA responded by hitting me with a formal notice: fix your unsafe fencing, submit all landscaping changes for approval. And future projects near shared natural spaces must be pre-approved. That was a new one, shared natural spaces. Suddenly my pond was community property, at least in Karen's fever dream. I realized I was up against something bigger than one annoying neighbor. This was a coordinated land grab wrapped in bureaucracy and Karen's fake smiles. They wanted my pond and weren't going to stop until it was theirs, or, well, until it was something they'd never want. So I got creative. If Karen wanted a public fish and grill, I'd give her one she'd never forget. With help from my college buddy Miguel, now in exotic animal licensing, I planned my counterstrike. Let me back up a sec. The HOA sent me an official letter, $250 fine attached, encouraging me to let them host monthly fishing days on my land for neighborly harmony. That's not a typo. They really thought I'd let them bring their folding chairs, barbecue sauce, and half the neighborhood for family fun on private property. I called the HOA office to check if this was a prank. Natalie answered, HOA Secretary Karen's niece, because of course she was. "Oh, that pond is the highlight of our nature walks," she chirped. I told her it wasn't a park. It was private land, deeded and mapped. No need to be possessive about nature, sir. That phrase stuck with me like, "Karen, we need to talk. It never ends well." So next weekend, I installed more cameras disguised as bird feeders. Reinforced the fence with steel posted neon orange no trespassing signs every 10 feet. Within 3 days, they were gone. But the cameras caught everything: 4 HOA regulars, bolt cutters in hand, stripping my signs like they were dandelions. Karen trailing behind trash bag in one hand, wine in the other. When one woman tripped, Karen quipped, "Maybe he should mow back here if he's going to be so territorial." I took the footage to the sheriff. The deputy watched in silence, then just sighed. "HOA drama," he said. "Yeah, we'll file it, but unless it gets violent, it'll end up in civil court. Good luck if the judge plays golf with the HOA president. That's small-town justice for you." I wasn't just up against Karen. I was up against the entire HOA machine. Still, I filed the report. Then I called Dave, my lawyer guy, could draft a cease and desist while grilling ribs. He watched the footage, checked my deed, and grinned. "They're screwed. Legally. Just keep documenting." We sent the board a formal notice naming every trespasser from the video, demanding they stay off my land or face legal action. Silence for 2 days. Then Karen retaliated, filing an environmental complaint, said my pond was breeding dangerous algae. City inspector shows up, takes one look and laughs. Looks like a postcard, maybe some duck poop. The system was Karen's playground. That's when I called Miguel. "Electric eels," he said. "You'd need permits, but yeah, legal for private contained habitats in your state." I almost kissed the phone. I built a new dock, posted steel warning signs, brought in an aquaculture inspector, and waited. All the while, Karen and her crew kept partying by my pond, uninvited, unwelcome. The real magic happened when the eels arrived. South American electric eels up to 6 feet long, capable of a 600-volt jolt enough to fry your weekend. I had all the paperwork, all the signs, every inch legal. The delivery guy looked at me like I was nuts. Maybe I was. It didn't take long for the neighborhood to find out something had changed. Next Saturday, they rolled in lawn chairs, speakers, kids splashing the whole 9 yards. Karen in a yellow sundress sun hat, tilted, waving at my camera like she's on HGTV. I stayed out of sight. Around noon, one guy hooks something big, yanks it out, and zap jolts back like he touched a car battery. Screams. Karen shrieks, "That's not a fish. That's illegal." They call the HOA animal control, even 911. Cops, paramedics, and wildlife control all show up. The officer checks my permits, looks at Karen and says, "Ma'am, this is private property. Everything is legal, and you were trespassing." Karen's face could have curdled milk. The HOA president shows up in a golf shirt and loafers, tries to puff up. "We're all neighbors here." "Nope, not today." I cut him off, told him where his authority ended, then handed the police footage of every trespass and fence repair. The cop just nodded. "I'd recommend leaving this man alone." Karen tried spinning it, called it aquatic booby trapping, tried to sue me for electric terrorism. My lawyer nearly died laughing. The local news caught wind. HOA versus electric eel shocked into reality. Viral. Half the county thought I was a folk hero. The other half thought I was Dr. Frankenstein. Letters started pouring and thank yous, insults, one from Tammy on the HOA Hospitality Committee in glitter pen. "You electrified my uncle. God will judge you." Framed it. But Karen wasn't done. Filed a stack of lawsuits accusing me of emotional sabotage, malicious landscaping, and willfully corrupting the community spirit. My lawyer torched every claim, countersued for trespassing, and attached a bill for all repairs. Meanwhile, the HOA tried to vote my pond into their nature reserve. I showed up to their meeting with the deed, the footage, and the local news crew in tow. When the reporter asked Karen if she'd broken the fence, she froze, then stormed out. News headline that night: "Pond Wars Fish Fry Gone Wrong." Police served her with a restraining order. She tried spinning herself as an eco-warrior, but nobody bought it. The pond. It became a sensation. School field trips, local dock crew, even a college offered a research partnership. One kid named the biggest eel, Karen Jr., drew a crayon of it, zapping a stick figure, yelling, "Get off my land." Instant classic. HOA crumbled. Treasurer quit. Then vice president, then the president who'd tried to annex my pond resigned, muttering about electric nightmares. Karen listed her house, but no one wanted to live next to the eel pond. The bank foreclosed on the HOA clubhouse, turned it into a cupcake cafe called Sparked Sweets. Karen tried suing again, claiming emotional devastation. Judge dismissed it in 4 minutes. When she finally moved out, she taped a note to my mailbox, "Enjoy your creepy lake." I framed that too. Life got quiet. Neighbors relaxed. Some apologized, a few brought banana bread, and I built a low fence with info plaques for school trips. My Eels thriving. The biggest is named Voltage. He zapped a raccoon once, hasn't been back since. People still ask me for advice. How do you Karen-proof your land? Easy cameras know your rights and never fight crazy with rage. Fight it with planning and a twist they'll never see coming. So yeah, that's how Karen tried to steal my pond and got zapped into irrelevance. But hey, let's be honest, who was right here? Who crossed the line? Me. Defending what's mine or her in the name of community. Drop your thoughts in the comments. I bet you got a story just like this.